Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Diane Hayden, publisher of Natural Nutmeg magazine, and I'm excited to be bringing you our Lunch and Learn live videos every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We are discussing with our expert writers and contributors in Natural Nutmeg everything on how to cope with the COVID-19 situation to topics related to natural therapies, how to live a holistic lifestyle, and tips you can easily integrate into your daily life. I'm excited today to have Gina Blaze with me here of Gina Blaze Coaching. She's the creator of Alive on the Inside, teaching individuals how to get a hold of the uncontrolled thought life and address deceptions about them. Your life can be an anxiety-free zone. So welcome, Gina. Thanks for being with us today. How are you?
Hi, Diane. Thank you for having me on your show and your audio today. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited that who's ever listening will be able to, hopefully by the end of this recording, take away something that's really going to enhance and change their thought life.
Yeah. This is, for those of you who don't know me that well, this is probably one of my absolute favorite topics. And I have been just reading and researching about mindset and thought process and how thoughts really do shape your life for, oh my gosh, over 10 years now, probably maybe even 15 or so. And I forget how I stumbled upon it first, maybe just randomly by a book I was reading, but I remember the realization of understanding how powerful your thoughts were and how they really do, in my opinion, create your reality, and whether that's negative or positive. So I'm excited to just, get your expertise and feedback and talk a little bit about what you do. So why don't we start there? Like, why don't you tell us a little bit about your background and how you got into coaching and how you've developed your programs?
Sure. Once in a while you are, I'm hitting a dead end on the audio and I can't hear you, but I hope you can hear me well.
Okay.
So,
Yep.
okay. Well, I will tell you that I've run a Hope and Healing Center for 30 years. My husband and I run the New England Prayer Center, which is a Hope and Healing Center in Easton, Connecticut. And I am what I consider a people builder. And I try my best to research, understand, know for 30 years, because I deal with people, how I can help them best. And 3 years ago, I wrote a course called Alive on the Inside, because I realized people are trying to fix their outward appearance. We all do, vanity's everywhere, but we really have to fix our inside. And it's based on this wholeness. What's wholeness? What's prosperity? Well, prosperity is to be happy, to be holy, to be healthy, and to be at peace. True prosperity. I think America and parts of the world have had a wrong definition that somehow if we make $1 million or we have achieved a certain place, that's all good and it's all wonderful. But real prosperity is wholeness on the inside. And so I wrote a course. It's 6 weeks. It's an individual for individuals to take once a week. It's 6 intensive hours, and it all has to do with intentionality of what we really believe. And I always tell this story, Diane, if I could keep going. I tell this story about the snake in the basement. And if you were to go down in your basement and you had to get something, and you flick the light on and the light blew, but there was a little bit of light in the basement, and you said, okay, I can get what I need down there, I can find my way through. But all of a sudden you saw a shadow and you looked and you saw a snake in your basement. And you said, OMG, there's a snake in my basement, and went running out of your basement. And you got your friend, you got your neighbor, and you said, would you help me? They came down there with a shovel, and they were going to shovel and a flashlight and said, show me, Diane. And you were behind them saying, it's right over there. And you pointed to the place where you saw the snake. And your friend pointed that flashlight on that snake. And he said to you, Diane, whoa, that's not a snake. It's just a coiled up hose. But your belief when you saw the snake, what you thought was a snake was 100% you believed it was a snake. It felt like a snake. You reacted based on the fact that 100% you believed that it was a snake. But in reality, it was a coiled up hose. And that's how we get deceived in life. That's how we get deceived by our thoughts. It feels like it, it sounds like it looks like it must be it, but it's not it. And when the light goes on, which is what coaching does, when the light goes on, our deceptions we have about ourselves, we get free. So the whole course is based on each week another aspect of the heart, because we know that our hearts can deceive us. We, as women especially, more than men, we have 30 to 50,000 thoughts a day. That's a lot of thoughts to decipher. What's truth? What do I act on? Is this thought real? Is this something I should think about? We have a lot. And there's an old proverb that says, as a man thinketh, so he is. And uncontrolled thought life obviously causes a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear, panic. And fear, I'm not sure if this is the exact count, but I think it's the last thing I looked at in the measures were fear causes over 14,000 releases of some kind of hormones in our body that cause panic, cause undue stress in our body. And so we need to get a hold of thought life. I ask my participants often, what is hope? What is peace? What is it to thrive? What is the difference between, and you've heard this before, what's the difference between surviving and thriving? Well, we know surviving is just getting through the day, eating dinner, going to bed at night, getting up the next morning, surviving the next day. And we know thriving looks a lot different. But nature shows us what thriving really is. In some ocean in the world, there's something called kelp, and that kelp can grow 1 foot an hour, 1 foot an hour. Why? Because it has the right ingredients, it has the right minerals, it has the right environment, it has the right sunlight, it has all of the right atmosphere to make it grow. And we need the right atmosphere in our thought life in order to thrive. And I believe that people really do want to understand this better. But we have to have the right definitions about certain things, about hope, about peace, about identity. And so if we have the wrong definitions, we get obviously the wrong results. It's that old saying, we keep doing the same things over and over again that give us the wrong results, right?
Yeah.
Do you have a question for me?
I was just going to say, I'm glad that you brought up or told the whole story about the snake, because when I was doing, starting to learn more about this and read all these different books and things, I realized that just by thinking of something, you actually do create a physiological response in the body. And whether that situation is real or not. For example, I read studies where they would take people who had whatever fear. So let's say it might be a fear of flying, or a fear of a snake, or a fear of something. They would have the person actually visualize getting on the plane, and they could measure that people's heart rates increased, blood pressure increased, chemicals were being released. So your mind can actually create this physiological sensation as if you were actually in that situation, but you're not even in it.
Right. That's so true. May I tell a little story? Because I think it will really help people that are listening or watching to understand. My husband is 60 years old, and my husband is the man who goes to the gym every morning. He's very fit. My kids call him Hercules. I'm sorry, my husband is 64 years old, not 60, I said 60. But on his 60th birthday, he called me up. I was coming home from the grocery store, and he said, very seriously, Jean, I think I'm having a heart attack. And I knew he wasn't kidding. I got home to run to him, and he said, don't touch me, because the pain was so great. We got him to the hospital. They did an angioplast, which is where they go up. They actually went through his arm, and they asked him to take a deep breath, and they blew out the blockages. And my husband's fine today. He's doing great. Everything's well. God is good. Thank you. But in the same way that I just told that story, we have blockages emotionally. We have blockages in us that come that we don't know that we have, just like my husband didn't know he had 4 blockages in his heart. How do we get those blockages? How do they appear? How do they just come? We can see them in other people. We can see a person maybe that we know that says, oh, that person is an angry person, or that person has this, or that person has that. We can see them, but we can't see these blockages in ourselves. And how do they happen? How do they get there? Well, they get there because we go to bed with the cares of life. We wake up with the cares of life. We go to bed with anxiety. We wake up with anxiety. We go to bed with pain. We wake up with pain. And it roots, like I say, just like a plant. And so we have to shine a light on those blockages in order to get the release. One of the things I ask people often in my coaching is, what do you think the question of the human heart is from the beginning of time? And many people will say, what's my purpose? Why am I here? What's this all about? And those are all great answers. But the question of the human heart, Diane, is how long? How long? We ask this all day long. Our kids, how long till we get there? How long till we have dinner? How long till I get married? How long till I get out of this relationship? How long till I'm better? How long? We're always asking that question about everything. How long till the coronavirus is over?
I was going to say, how long do we have to self-quarantine?
That's right. So we're always asking that question every day subconsciously. But long suffering, and you and I and every person that's listening to this has a long suffering. Everybody has one. And long suffering happens to be what the Bible calls the fruit of the Spirit, but long suffering is something that births in us compassion, births in us patience, births in us kindness, births in us hope, does something that nothing else can do. It is really what patience really is, and love is patient. And so we want to get into the chambers of the heart through our emotional situations that we have to unblock those blockages. As you know, emotions can change. We can feel, if Publishers Clearinghouse knocks at our door and brings the check up, we would be doing jumping jacks and saying, yes, this is amazing, so happy. But if we get the phone call about a dear one we loved, that something happened, our emotions are like roller coasters. They change with the weather. They change with our circumstance. They change with what we eat. They change. Everything changes our emotions throughout the course of sunshine, rainy days, whatever it is. So it's being on a roller coaster. And if we live on our emotions, we are going to be what I call ready to throw up. Because when you get off that roller coaster at times, sometimes that's what you're ready to do. And so we need to supersede our emotions with certain declarations, which I'd love to be able to speak over your audience today. Because the morning is a very important time, as you know, Diane. The morning is a time when we set our day. We have good intentions every day. We intend to bake a cake for our neighbor. We intend to write a letter. We intend to get our bathroom clean. But good intentions never get the job done. Only being intentional really gets the intentionality is really what gets the job done. Would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Two different things.
So this morning, I was actually coaching someone this morning, and we went through the declarations that I'm going to speak over your listeners now. If we have time, do we have time to do that?
Oh yeah, absolutely, plenty.
Oh, okay. So in the morning when you get up, we have an opportunity to declare some things that can be truth. They're not just out of our emotions. I just want to step back for 1 second. If I said to you, what is hope? Everyone might have a different answer for that. But what I like to tell people, in addition to your right answer, hope is this: in spite of coronavirus, in spite of the circumstances, in spite of what's happening, something good is going to happen today. That's what hope really is. The anticipation of something good that's going to come out of today. And I really believe hope is in every day. And so what I'd like to do now is speak some declarations over your listeners that I've written out, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So Diane, I'm going to speak it right to you. You are getting stronger every day. You're not going to let your past determine your future. You're breathing right now, breathing in life. You have peace that passes your understanding, and things are turning around in your life. You're not praying based on the problem, you're praying based on the solution. You're not going to do the same things over and over again that give you no results. You are a great listener. You won't repeat a confidence. You don't have to try to be perfect, but you can seek to be excellent. You may cry, but your tears are liquid prayer. You're not afraid today. Goodness and mercy follow you around all day long. Let there be light wherever there's darkness in my life and in your life. Something good is going to happen today. I choose to resist the temptation to, and everybody has to fill in the blank there. I choose to celebrate this day with thankfulness. Everything is going to be all right. I choose to forgive. I appreciate what I have. I won't dwell on the past. I choose to love. I'm focused and I have clarity. I refuse to say, I don't know anymore. My yes is yes and my no is no. I'm not going to be part of the problem. I'm going to be part of the solution. I'm not easily offended. Fear never makes the right choice, so I won't choose anything out of fear. Today is my gift, and I'll open up the day as if it is a real gift. Hope is in you because God put it there. Your communication is healthy and dispels confusion. You won't hold someone else hostage by your expectations, and you won't be held hostage by theirs. I have a sound mind, and so do you. And you're free to be who you are. You're not going to trust your feelings all the time because you know your feelings can change. You're going to trust the truth. Whenever God sent an angel, the angel said, don't be afraid. You're free from anxiety. You're looking up. You're excellent at what is good. You're not going to take good news for granted. You choose to love yourself. You're present in this moment because you can't be two places at once. We may live in a crazy world, but we're not crazy. Impossible is nothing because nothing is impossible. Today is the only day we have, so we'll live it well. You are part of someone's miracle today. Your hope is alive and it gives you vision. Your attitude makes you or breaks you. Wherever your feet go today, your steps are directed. Your tongue is wise and promotes health. And an honest answer is like a kiss on the lips. And I could go on and on with those. There's many, many more. I see my iPad is just about to close off here soon, but hopefully we'll get a few more minutes in.
Yeah.
Diane, do you have any more questions?
Well, I just want to say that was beautiful and very inspirational. Yeah, and I think that very thought-provoking too. I think like a lot of them give you pause to think about, you know,
Yes.
oh, I need to remember that. That's important.
Well, I created, and I'm not trying to self-promote, but I did create an app several years ago, and it's called the Declare It app. And it's, if anybody wants to look on the website for it, it's www.declareitapp, all one word, DECLAREITAPP.com. So they can read all about it, you can download it, and it has on the app all of the declarations. You set the time, you set how many times you want it to come up a day, and it comes up with a beautiful picture with those declarations, or you can write your own and have it come up. And so it just pops up at you. If you say once an hour, it'll give you a declaration every hour. Speak over yourself and to think about. And so I did that to help people. I also have a little book out that I wrote many years ago called Provoking Thoughts. And it's a book, I call it a roulette book. You open a page and that's the page you need. And so I'm going to read this page that I just opened to for your listeners. This is a page on regret. Now, who doesn't have something in their life that they wouldn't change? If they can go back and do it again, they would do it differently. Not one of us wouldn't change something. However, we don't get a chance to go back, but we do get a chance at a new day. So regret holds us. If we live in it, it holds us to our past. It ties us to our past. And Diane, I'm going to ask you a question. What's the highway near your house? What's the highway?
91.
91. You would never drive down 91 this way. You wouldn't drive your car doing this.
Yeah.
Because you would crash, right? So when we live in the past, when we keep looking at the past, shame, regret, things different, we are going to crash every time and we're going to be stuck every time. So on this little page, there's obviously a little person crying and there's a little cloud over their head, but there's a rainbow in the background. So I'm going to read you this page. Regret is something that distresses you so much that you can't stop thinking about it. It upsets you right now, but only for a little while. You and I get woken up by distress. We won't end up regretting that kind of pain if it leads us somewhere, specifically if it leads us to God. Think about that dead end you've been down. Did you turn around? Did you find your way out? Regret has a way out, and it's called hope and future. When regret is full blown, you enter a place called hopelessness. You isolate and you rebel against everything wise. It starts with disappointment. That's how it all gets birthed. And it's mostly in yourself. We have all been there a time or two. A sure sign that things are headed in the wrong direction is when your mind runs away with itself, running away from life, people, and God. It focuses on everything negative and carries a lot of heavy baggage. There is a way out, and He is it. What you can't see is that all will turn out right in the end. Faith believes that. Hope finds that. The song of deliverance is playing over you. And it's called Unstoppable Love. I'm just going to stop there for one. My iPad is going to go out, and I don't want it to. Okay. It gets better. you end up closer to God and closer to really living life right, the right way. Awake, sensitive, responsible. You look beyond yourself. You look to others, and you don't look back, you look forward. And you keep looking up. And your heart gets better. You find out it wasn't the hurt or who's right or who's wrong. You find out about freedom, true freedom. Regret always leads us to the issue of the heart. We all want do-overs, and life doesn't give them, but God does. He never wants us to repeat a past performance. In fact, he doesn't want performance at all. He gives us a new day, new beginnings, new grace, new mercy, new opportunities, new hope, new help, new courage, new strength, new freedom, and a brand new door when we close that old one. Yes, we have to close it. He wants to guide our feet into the way of peace. We don't just stumble along. Lessons learned, no strife, quiet waters, no regrets. And so I want you to know you don't have to live life looking backwards anymore. Your listeners, whoever's on this phone, there is a way out. And the way out is to understand that we look down and we see down, but when we look up, when we have faith, when we have hope, when we have peace, and we understand what that really is, we have freedom and we have a hope and a future. God bless you.
That was great. Yeah, so true. I mean, think of it like on a day like today, you know, here in Connecticut, it's cloudy and rainy, but that doesn't mean the sun's not still and blue sky's not still up there.
That's right. Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. For sure. Yeah.
Well, this is
about it. And go ahead.
I was just going to say, this has been awesome, very inspirational. I wanted to just take a few minutes for you to tell people how they could connect with you, whether that's by, you know, website or email or however you want them to reach out to you and learn more about you and your coaching course.
Sure. Is it okay to give a phone number?
Anything you want. Yep.
Okay, you can call me on my private number, 203-257-8240. I do have a website also, ginablaze.com. It's all one word, GINABLAZE.com. And you can email me at ginablaze@me.com. I'm sorry, ginablaze@me. It's about my personal, I don't even use it, so I don't even know if that is. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
So,
that's the one.
You can, any one of those three ways is fine. And I just want to thank you again, Diane, for having me on the show today. I live to see the lights go on in people's eyes. I live to see people get free, because there's no reason for what I call is pain that is pain that's unnecessary. There's no real reason for unnecessary. There's pain in life, for sure, enough of it. And every day has a new trial or new trials, but there's no reason for unnecessary pain. So I'd like to see people get free from unnecessary pain in their life. And my deep prayer is that someone got a deep breath today of hope.
Me too, definitely. And hopefully people will check out your app, the declareitapp.com.
Yes.
And we have recorded this, so it'll be up on our website, naturalnutmeg.com, and also on our Facebook page at Natural Nutmeg Magazine. So please check those out. And again, thank you so much, Gina, for your time today. This is a great call.
Thank you. One thing I will mention is on Thursday, today's Wednesday, on Thursday, I believe, I'm going to be doing a Zoom call, and I'm going to be honest of what it is. I'm doing a Zoom call on what's called the gifts of the Spirit tomorrow. And most people do not know their gifts that they have. And so it really shines another light on the 9 gifts, the understanding, practical wisdom, practical understanding on the gifts of the Spirit, because we need those gifts for today, especially with what's going on today. So if anyone wants to join that call, they can email me. I think the best.
Do you have a time yet? Tomorrow?
Yes, it's going to be at 11:30 tomorrow. 11:30.
Okay, because we can post
You
that
can
on
email
Facebook
me,
too.
and I don't have the Zoom in front of me right now. I'm so sorry. I didn't think I was going to be. Let me just see if I can pull it up real quick. Why don't we just have people email me at ginablaze@me.com, and then I can give them the Zoom coordinates for that. Okay, tomorrow.
Yep, perfect. And we'll post that on our social
You
media
still there,
sites too.
Diane?
Yep, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Okay, you're frozen.
I see that now. There we go.
Thank you again. I think it just froze. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. Thank you so much for being on, and we'll get all this posted on Facebook. And everybody have a great day.
Thank you. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.